Well, we are welcoming back Kendra Arch this morning from the Sugar Buzz Pantry, and she is showing us how to utilize the fruits of our season right now, apples.
Exactly.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And what are we making today? I mean, we've got all sorts of things to show off.
All sorts of things that you can do. Either you can make them homemade, or you can take some things that are in the store and buy them and make them look homemade.
Even easier. I love
Even
that.
easier. One or the other. If you like to make things from scratch, this is a good recipe to do it. But if you also want to just take an easy route and buy the pie crust and the pie filling, all that kind of stuff, you can still do it.
Okay, so what are we showing off here?
We're going to make apple crostatas.
Okay.
And actually, that is a Spanish term, so if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly,
It
I
sounds right,
apologize.
I think.
But it's an Italian pastry.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
Okay.
What it does is basically just a dough, and you can put any type of fruit filling in the middle. So I chose to do apples today.
Okay.
So the first thing you do is you can either buy your refrigerated pie crust, or you can make your own, depending on what you want to do.
Okay.
So you roll it out. And since I bought this one, it's already rolled out, but sometimes it's nice just to get it a little bit more even.
You're rolling it out on this super cool thing. You got to.
It is. It's a really cool. It's a pastry mat, and if you do your own pie crust, it has the dimensions on it. It takes the guesswork out. You can go ahead and take it up.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's got like 10 inches, 12 inches. You know, exactly how
big you need
want it to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you don't have to
That's
like,
really cool.
that's too big or that's too small.
Okay.
And it's easy to store and clean up. It just folds right up, stores right into your drawer. So
okay.
So now that we have our pie crust rolled out, we're going to take a big round cutter. These work best with a 4 to a 5-inch circle cutter.
Okay.
If you don't have one of those, you can find a big jar or something at home as well.
Gotcha.
And once you get those cut out, then I'll show you how to form them.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. We're just
Give
gonna
one to Josh here.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
You have to make one too, Josh.
Oh, no.
Okay, so what are we
So
doing?
what we're going to do is we're going to take this circle, and we're just going to try and make like a little basket. So you pull it up.
Okay.
And you pinch
fold
it up.
it over?
Fold it over. You want to take about a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch up.
Okay.
And kind of make just a little basket, and that's where we're going to put our apples into.
Okay.
then.
Okay.
It works better when the dough is just a little bit warm, kind of like it is right now.
Yeah.
When it's colder, it wants to flop back
Oh,
down.
back out. Okay.
But we'll fold it over onto the apple sun.
Okay.
And for this recipe, 4 of the crostatas will take about 2 cups of apples. So
Okay.
whether you want more or less. In here, I have 3 tablespoons of sugar and a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon already made up. And if you want more or less than that, you know, depending on if you want a little bit sweeter or a little bit more spicier,
Okay.
you can go ahead. You coat your apples with your sugar.
Smells so good.
It does.
And then what we're going to do once, make believe it's all
Yes,
coated
it's
up.
all coated well.
And you just put a couple of apples into your pie crust here then.
Gotcha.
And what you're going to do then is you want to make sure that it's kind of folded over top of the apples. Now, and I guess I didn't cut these apples small enough because they're not
Going
working
right
as
in
well.
there, but okay.
And that's what, so if you have a little bit bigger pastry, it's easier to do.
Yeah. And then you pop them in the oven for how long?
Pop them in the oven at 425 for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes,
Wow.
depending on what your recipe calls for. But one of the important things is that if you don't have the crust over it so that it's going to keep all your juices in there, it's going to run all over the place. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you put it onto a pan that has an edge. And I use just a jelly roll pan, but I put my nonstick kitchen mat with like a silicone mat underneath it, so that if you've ever smelt burnt caramel in the oven, it's nasty, but it's even harder to clean up on your pans.
Okay.
This will make it a lot easier.
We're actually out of time, but I'm
That's
guessing
fine.
right at the end you take the caramel, drizzle it over.
Drizzle it right over top of it.
All right. Quickly tell people where they can go to find more information.
TheSugarBuzzPantry.com, and I have a cake decorating class next week that we still have room for.
All right. We're going to take a break. We're going to try this, and we'll tell you how it is right after the break.